All right. Your buddy CJ here. Welcome to another episode of Hot Seat Automotive Podcast. We're talking about all the things that real gearheads are most interested in. Real gearhead talk. This is the place to be for that real gearhead talk. And for today's episode, guys, I got something kind of different, something kind of special, I think. Hopefully something kind of fun and useful. Guys, as you can see behind me, I've got my C8 Z06 and my Lamborghini Huracan chilling in the back. And I'm out here today and just got back from an 1,800 mile road trip in the Z06, and I'm getting ready to clean it because it's dirty, legitimately dirty, okay? I'm not talking about driving around town, going to the car show and back. I'm talking about 1,800 mile road trip, highways and byways dirty. The car needs to be cleaned. So rather than just clean it, I thought what I would do is come on here and talk to you guys a bit about my techniques, the way that I keep my cars clean. I also want to talk about a topic that I get asked about a lot, foam cannons. And quite candidly, you know, it's somewhat of a controversial topic, I think, in the car guy hobby. And I want to demystify it a bit because I think there's some misconceptions, okay? And there's some lessons that I've learned over the years about foam cannons, about coatings and all these things. And I just want to talk to you about my experience and how I maintain my cars. My cars are clean. Okay, I keep my cars very clean. I drive my cars, as evidenced by the road trip I just did. I do road trips, I do rallies, I daily my cars. Not just my daily cars, but my performance cars. They get driven a lot, okay? So I do a lot to maintain my cars. Not as, you know, it's not like I'm out here every day, but I also get a lot of compliments on my cars. A lot of people ask me, CJ, how do you keep your cars so clean? So I wanted to come on here and talk about that. Talk about some of the things I do, talk about some of the things I don't do, some lessons learned, so on and so forth. So come on, hang out with your buddy CJ, and let's talk about how I maintain clean cars that I'm proud of, that I enjoy, that make me happy when I look at them, as opposed to dirty cars, which is a peeve of mine. If you got dirty cars, guys, if your wheels are dirty right now, I want you to watch this video, then I want you to go out in the driveway and wash your car, learning some of these tips and tricks from your buddy CJ. In all seriousness, one more thing I do want to mention before I get into it. I don't claim to be a professional detailer, okay? Listen, I'm a car guy. I'm not trying to sell you anything. My only interest is in talking about cars and keeping my cars clean and maybe sharing some of my tips and tricks with you. If you have better tips and tricks, leave me those comments. Keep it positive, guys. Let's keep it cool, keep it positive. Listen, you know, I've heard all the gimmicks. I've heard all the sales pitches. I've worked with different detail shops over the years, good and bad. I'm not getting into all that today. What I'm talking about is how I maintain my cars at my house for my own personal purposes so that I can live with myself so that my cars pass my test. If you've got better tips, tricks, and techniques, go ahead and leave them in the comments so that we can all benefit from it. But it's all out of love. Keep it all positive. Keep it all on the upside. Let's go, gearheads. Come on, let's get into this. Your buddy CJ gonna give you them real tips and tricks. And I ain't trying to sell you nothing. I'm keeping it real. One car guy to another. Come on, let's do it. Okay, first things first. As you can see, I've spread out some products and some items I want to talk to you guys about. One, here's my foam cannon. I bought this one off of Amazon. Other car guys I know were using this foam cannon. Yes, there are countless others on the market. This one works well. I've probably had it for about 3 years now. What I can tell you is this is the foam cannon. Some people think it's going to be this massive thing that you need like 2 arms to hold. No, this is what you get. The foam cannon is basically this nozzle. See this big black part? It's this nozzle, okay? It's this valve with this adjustment, quick disconnect fitting for your pressure washer. We're gonna get to that in a moment. Gotta have a pressure washer, boys. And then it's the reservoir where you mix your soap with your water. That's the foam cannon, okay? The foam cannon is an attachment to your pressure washer. So let's take a look at that while we're talking. Come on, this is your buddy CJ's pressure washer. It is a Craftsman 3000 PSI, 2.3 gallon per minute. You know, it does the job for me. Some of you may have a bigger unit, some of you may have a smaller unit. That's what I use, and it works quite well. Guys, a couple things to know about the foam cannon. I want to get this out of the way right now. You know, the foam cannon is a very cool tool for you to use, no doubt. in my opinion. I use my foam cannon, okay? I'm not a foam cannon hater. So before anybody says, oh, CJ, you're trashing the foam cannon, no, I'm not. But I'm also a realist. The foam cannon is not a replacement for washing your car and agitating some of the dirt off the body when the car is filthy. I'll say it again. When your car is filthy, filthy dirty, foam cannon by itself is not enough. So let's take that off the table. Anybody who tells you that all you need is a foam cannon isn't giving it to you straight. And I'm here to give it to you straight. Now you see my Huracan over there? That car doesn't get as dirty. Most of the time I can get by foaming that vehicle a couple times, foam it, you know, rinse it, foam it, rinse it, foam it, rinse it, and it's fine. It'll pass my test. But for example, the Z06 right now, after this road trip, this car is filthy, filthy dirty. Okay, and I don't know if you can see that. This car does have a full ceramic coating on it and a full track pack PPF, which means it's got paint protection film. For those that don't know what that is, the paint protection film is a clear plastic, you know, think of it, if you almost see like, you guys can make fun of me for saying this, but I don't care because to me it's a good analogy. Think of like saran wrap as a film, but it's industrial grade, okay? It goes on there. There's a heck of a lot more to it than that. I know there's more to it than that, guys. Don't go crazy. But my point being, I want you guys to know it's a film that you can have professionally installed to protect the vehicle from rock chips. So if you want to protect your car from rock trips, either on a road trip like your buddy CJ just completed, 1,800 miles, or you're going to be doing track stuff, you typically get PPF film. So my whole front clip has PPF on it. It's not cheap. It's going to cost you to get it done right. And you see the way I have it done, there's no seams. You can't even tell I have PPF. This is an all-pro job, I'll tell you what. And what this will do is legitimately protect your vehicle against rock chips. I'm not here to sell you guys on PPF. I'm just telling you, for my cars, whether it's the Huracan or whether it's the C8 Z06 that I currently have, I have PPF because I drive my cars. There's nothing worse than rock chips. And if you do a lot of road trips or you do track days, you really should have PPF, at least on your whole front clip, A-pillars, mirrors, okay? I went further on this car. I went all the way back, okay? Because I knew I was gonna put miles on this car. This is my road trip car, the C8 Z06, and I wanted to protect the paint. Anyone who tells you, let's get this out of the way, because I also have this car fully ceramic coated professionally. Anyone who tells you that a ceramic coating will protect you from rock chips is wrong. Yes, it makes the car easier to clean. Yes, you'll get a paint correction, typically with that ceramic coating from a professional. Okay, it also provides some level of protection against staining. It helps to seal and protect the paint, but it will not protect you from rock chips, the ceramic coating. Don't believe it. If anybody tells you that, they're wrong. Tell them come see me. The paint protection film will provide you with that protection. So if you're gonna road trip the car, you're gonna track it, you wanna keep it clean, paint protection film out front is my recommendation with the ceramic coating. You don't have to. I mean, for years, nobody did any of this stuff, right? But these are just the things that I'm recommending to you. Let's get back to the foam cannon. Foam cannon is good. Now, my car with the paint protection film and the ceramic coating, you know, the foam cannon, if the car was just had moderate road dirt on it from just driving around town, that type of thing, I'd probably be okay with that. Rinse with the pressure washer, foam cannon, rinse it, foam cannon again, rinse again. I'd probably be fine, but I'm not going to be fine because this car, even though it may or may not be coming across in the video, is filthy, filthy dirty from an 1,800 mile road trip. Okay, so I'm going to do more. Let's get to the buckets. When I say I'm going to do more, 2-bucket technique. Now you'll hear people talk about the 2-bucket technique. What are we talking about here? It's 1 bucket with your soap mixture and your wash mitts, okay? And you can see in this one I have a strainer. And then another bucket with just water. And what that's going to enable you to do, I know some guys also put soapy water mixture in there, whatever your preference is. The point is, you wash the car with the wash mitt out of the soap bucket. And then before you put that mitt back in the soap after it's been on the car, you rinse it in the second bucket. The idea is you're getting any road dirt or grit off of the mitt before you put it back on the car. So like if I was washing the car using just the one bucket, right? If I was just using the one bucket and I'm washing the car and I pick up some road dirt, some grit, some little tiny rocks, some sand, glass, whatever, and then I put this mitt back in the soap bucket, I'm contaminating the bucket. The mitt's contaminated. Now I'm contaminating the bucket. There's a higher probability that I might go and put this mitt back on the car and cause damage to the paint and the scratch, when in fact I'm trying to keep the car clean and looking great. So the idea is you have your two buckets and your two bucket technique. You know, first thing I do, I soap up my mitt. I wash the car. I don't press hard. I go light. Okay, I go generally in one direction. I don't try to induce swirl marks, especially on a black car. After I'm done with a section of the car, boom, I go into the bucket number 2 and I rinse some of that grit off. Now, guys, I'm a realist and I'll be the first to tell you, anyone who tells you that the 2-bucket technique is an absolute isn't. Still have to be smart. If your car is filthy, filthy dirty, maybe have another set of mitts so that after your first pass, you use the clean mitt. Couple clean mitts. I usually use 2 mitts because I'm crazy and I like to have 2 mitts. If I had 3 hands, if I had 4 arms, I'd probably have all 4 with wash mitts, but a little bit more about my technique. Now let's talk about soap, guys. Look, I tend to use the Chemical Guys soap for my foam cannon. I find it foams up really well. It's like glazing a donut. I'm gonna show you some footage later, but if you've ever been to Krispy Kreme donut, and when you see all the glaze on the donut, come on, I'm always thinking about cars and food. You know your buddy CJ. That's what it's gonna look like. This stuff foams up really well. It also smells good. This is the Mr. Pink. I think this one smells kind of like cherry. There's also one that smells like watermelon. Come on, it's the little things, guys. I've used this Mother's. It doesn't foam up as much, and you can see it says perfect for foam cannons. I'm not trashing any of these products. I would use any of them I have, but I prefer the Chemical Guys. That's just my personal preference. Mix it per the manufacturer's instructions. You can see there's soap and water in here, so I got the solution in my foam cannon. She's ready to go. She's ready to go. Guys, the other thing that's really important, I'm a clean wheel freak. Now, first things first, on the Z06, what does your buddy CJ have? Carbon ceramic brakes. Number one source of dirt for me and a filthy car is typically brake dust. Brake dust gets all over your wheels, gets all over the side of the car. It's a big problem, right? When you're a gearhead car freak like me. So carbon ceramic brakes are great from a performance standpoint. I love them. They will rip your face off from a braking standpoint. They are awesome. However, the other side benefit, if you don't know, your buddy CJ is going to fill you in. Carbon ceramic brakes don't dust. And if they do, it's a micro minimum amount of dust. So it helps keep your car clean. But I still use this product, which is Meguiar's Ultimate All-Wheel Cleaner. They don't sponsor me. They didn't give me this. I spend money on this, my own money. And this is the product I prefer. Guys, anything here that I'm sharing today, by the way, none of this is sponsored. This is your buddy CJ giving it to you straight and honest. The products that I prefer personally based on my experience. No sponsorship. I'm completely independent and objective. It's the only way to be. So Meguiar's All-Wheel Cleaner. The cool stuff about this, the cool thing about this stuff, guys, it changes color as it cleans. I don't know, I like it. I spray it on my wheels, and as it starts cleaning, it turns red. And the stuff stinks. It's toxic. Don't eat it. Don't let your kids eat it. Don't let your dog lick it. But it does clean your wheels. And even though I have the carbon ceramic brakes and I don't get all that dust, I do still use it on both cars, on both the Huracan and the Z06. Now, guys, I told you this car is dirty, and again, it's black, so it's hard to tell. While I was on the 1,800-mile road trip, I was out there cleaning it. But here, maybe you get a good shot on the rear trunk area here and see some of that dirt. You know, this thing is dirty. It went through a little bit of rain. It's got a lot of road dirt. Here's the Huracan. Now, as you can see, this is Arancio Borealis, I think, as they say in Italy. I call it Orange Borealis. It is a beautiful color. There's not that much sun today, but it really pops in the sun. This car, I haven't washed this car in, like, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'll be straight with you. I haven't washed this car in over a month, and it still looks great. Like, look at that. Yes, it's got some road dust and road dirt on it. I can see there's something here. Looks like maybe some pollen or whatever the heck that is. Maybe some, I don't know what, something, a gift from a bird maybe. But no, in all seriousness, you know, I'd say this car, again, very light to moderate dirt on the Huracan. This would be fine with a rinse with the pressure washer, hit it with the foam cannon, rinse it again, quick foam again, rinse it, done. This car would be fine. Right now, the condition of the Z06, the level of dirt, it is not fine, not to pass my test. So I'm still gonna use my 2 buckets along with the foam cannon. There are guys who will tell you, CJ, you don't need to do that. You're doing it wrong. I don't care. No, I do care. Leave me in the comments. But in all seriousness, guys, your personal preference, maybe that'll pass your test. I claim you still need to do some agitation with the 2 buckets when the car is filthy dirty, like my Z06 currently is. A couple other things I want to mention to you, then I want to wash this car. Cleaning the wheels, you know, some people call these like wheel gerbils. These help you get into the wheels and really scrub them. One of my kids bought me this cool little cart. Look at that. Your buddy CJ zips around on that cart. Leave me comments if you want footage of me zipping around on that cart. Come on, your buddy. Yes, I do fit on the cart. Thank you very much. And this cart, again, it's called Mycanic. I'm not sponsored by these guys. They haven't given me anything. One of my kids bought me this, and I just love it. It's when I'm doing wheels, you know, it's kind of saves your back, whatever, and you're able to kind of zip around the car. You know, I got to be careful because you know I get crazy when I'm moving around. Guys, this baby right here is the most important thing on this table. Real talk. I'm fitting to tell you the #1 thing for car guys who really care about their paint finish and they get it wrong is the way you drive the car. This air cannon, it's a car dryer. Some of you guys who still have your hair, maybe you use a hair dryer. I don't know, does anybody use a hair dryer anymore? No, in all seriousness. This is a dryer for your car, and some of you guys will say, CJ, that's old news. But some of you guys maybe haven't seen it or been exposed to this level of seriousness in washing your car. This is an air cannon, okay, as it's called. It's by Adams Polish. I like this unit. Oh, I was just bending over to show you this. This is the nozzle on this baby. This is a good unit. I think I've had this for about 3 years now. Cost me about $300, guys. Don't quote me on that, but it's been a while since I bought it. I did buy it through Amazon, Adams Polishes, and it is a good unit. You can see it comes on this truck, this base with the locking wheels. It's got heat. This is the heat control, so it will dry. And this thing puts out some serious air. And if your car is like my cars with ceramic coating and PPF, they call it hydrophobic. The detail guys will tell you it's hydrophobic, which is the detail guy's way of saying it really wicks away the water. It's resistant to water. So it's not even just beating up. When you blow it with air, that water just flies off. The car is almost instantly dry. It is the coolest thing, which is why I say, when you get a nice car, something you love, something you care about, and you invest the money in a ceramic coating and PPF, and you like keeping your cars clean, it'll all come together and it'll be worth it to you. Because when you go to wash the car, you'll save time, it'll come out better, it's easier to keep clean. Then when you go to dry it with your air cannon, boom, no problem. The water just flies off and you're done really quick. You're done super quick. The only thing I don't like about this unit is sometimes, you know, when the nozzle gets kind of tangled up, it can unravel. It kind of screws together. It can unscrew, so you got to watch it, and the nozzle can kind of blow off. Ask me how I know. These are the mistakes I've made. Don't make the mistakes your buddy CJ has made. So just keep your hose and your nozzle straight. How do you like that? And you'll be fine. It is a great product. It's also an expensive product. There are countless other dryers out there. I wouldn't use a leaf blower because the way they're designed, theoretically, the impellers could grab a rock or something, you know, some sort of, you know, contamination, rock, pebble, and it could potentially hit your car. I'm not saying, you know, for a long time I used a leaf blower. I'll be real with you. I used to use a leaf blower. Yes, even your buddy CJ, I used a leaf blower at one point to dry my cars. I stopped because, you know, not that I ever had an issue with it, but these put out a heck of a lot more air. They also have the heat. They're cleaner, okay? They're easier. You got the cool little truck. You are gonna pay for it. There's probably some cheaper ones in the market. This is the one I like. So these are some of the key products. Also, you need a large quantity of microfibers. I feel like I'm always buying microfibers. Like I feel like I spend a lot of my money on microfiber towels. That's just your buddy CJ. Now, in terms of maintaining coatings, This is a ready-to-use wipeless silica spray. It's CarPro Hydro 2. This is the light version. Now, I mentioned my car already has a full professional ceramic coating and PPF. All my cars do, okay? But I also give it a maintenance coating and kind of helps things, you know, just helps it shine and look great. It's also very easy. This particular product I like because you just spray it on when the car is wet and rinse it off. Spray it on, rinse it off. There's no rubbing, okay? So guys, what do you think? I gave you the rundown of my products, my setup. I gave you some of my opinion, trying to demystify what a foam cannon is, what it isn't. You know, here's an analogy. If you were filthy dirty, right, and you were working in the yard all day and you were doing masonry work and then you were doing sheetrock work and then you were painting, okay, and you just went in the shower and soaped yourself up, would that be enough? No, of course not. Same thing applies with a foam cannon. If you just kind of went to the grocery store, came home, and then took a shower, just soaped yourself up, you'd be fine, right? Same thing applies with the foam cannon in your car. If your car is just lightly to moderately, you know, dirty and is really kind of clean but could use a bath, then the foam cannon technique by itself without agitation is probably enough for your interim washes. But if your car is filthy dirty, like my 1,800-mile road trip Z06 is, we're gonna do it with both the buckets and the foam cannon. We're gonna do it right. So enough of this talk. Your buddy CJ, keeping it real, giving you them tips and tricks. Let's get to it. Let's wash this car. Come on.
All right, let's spray those wheels, as I told you, with the Meguiar's wheel cleaner, and it will change color, although I don't get much brake dust, as I mentioned, because these are carbon ceramic brakes. I'm gonna leave it on for just a few seconds, get the pressure washer while I'm rinsing the car, blast all that dirt off. Come on. All right, guys, now that I have put the wheel cleaner on, I'm gonna give the car a thorough rinse with the pressure washer. I have the white nozzle on there. It's so common with pressure washers. Gives me a nice wide shot, enabling me to rinse all the dirt off the car without being too harsh. So again, we're gonna give it a nice, basically a nice rinse. My buddy CJ giving the car a nice rinse, getting that wheel cleaner off. As you can see, this car has a full ceramic coating, so that water is really wicking off. But start top to bottom generally, now that I got her a little bit wet. And I'm just going to wash off any of the big stuff, if you will, get it wet, loosen some of that dirt up before I shoot it with the foam can. So that's your buddy CJ, step one. All right, guys, now that we've given the car a good rinse, I'm gonna give it a first shot with the foam cannon. You ready? This is the fun part. All right, now that we got the foam, it's been sitting on the car for, you know, about 30 seconds now. Just gonna let it kind of soak in, loosen up all that stuff. I'm gonna rinse it with the pressure washer, straight water. I'm gonna do that whole process again. After I rinse it, I'm gonna foam it again, then I'm gonna rinse it again. Then I'm gonna go back and agitate the car one more time with my two buckets and any of the known dirty spots. I'm gonna give it a thorough rinse and see how it looks. So let's go ahead and complete the process. Come on. Rinsing it off, getting all the heavy stuff off. Straight water after the foam.
Okay, I just got done with rinse, foam cannon, and rinse number one, and I gotta be honest with you, I'm pleasantly surprised. It actually came out better than I thought I would, which is a testament to having a full ceramic coating with the PPF. The dirt is just blasting off, so there's that.
but I'm gonna hit it again with the foam cannon, and I'm gonna give it another rinse right now, and I'm gonna see how she looks. Come on, let's keep going, guys. All right, guys, so I just finished with the second foam cannon rinse, and full transparency, I am quite surprised and pleasantly pleased with how much of that road dirt absolutely came off based on just the foam cannon. So what you can see I'm doing here, very lightly, I'm just hitting some of those areas because it really doesn't need to be scrubbed. I think it's a testament to having a ceramic coating and PPF. I'm just hitting some of those areas that I know got hit with a lot of bugs. And again, you know, I don't, it's not like it's gonna be car show ready, or, you know, I'm trying to trade the car in. Look, I just want it super clean, and it is. I'm just going over a few spots here. And as you can see, I just gave it a quick hit. Now I'm gonna go to my second bucket, which I have positioned way too far away. And look at this. I'm rinsing the wash mitt before I put it back on the car. Let me go through and hit some of the dirtier spots and then give it a rinse before it dries off, because you never want to let your car dry with, you know, just water sitting on it, because then you get water spots. So let me finish up and I'll show you how I dry. Give me a minute. Peace. Hold on. I'll be right back. Final rinse, guys. What do you think? She's looking good. I'm really pleased. I didn't have to go crazy. As dirty as it was, you know, primarily due to the ceramic coating and the PPF, it was very easy to clean. I'd like to take credit for it with my awesome technique. My technique is okay. Some people may have better technique. But more than anything, and notice, I'm not getting up that close to the paint. You don't need to blast the paint. I keep it at, you know, a couple, 3-4 foot distance for the most part. The car is, you know, it's not a dump truck. It's not a tractor. There's no need to go that crazy. But all right, let me finish up this rinse, and then we're gonna give it a dry. All right, guys, now the other very important part. We're gonna air dry the car with our Adams Polishes air cannon, and can't let that water dry in the car because you get water spots. So come on, let's do it. You're gonna see that water just blast off. Because it's ceramic coated, because it's got PPF, that water, they call it hydrophobic. Bottom line, that water is gonna wick right off. It's incredible, watch. Got the heat on. Check it out. Look at that. Water's gone. It's just unbelievable, right? I'm not using any rag. I will hit it with a rag, any spots that I missed. But first things first, let's just get the vast majority of the water off. And this thing just does the trick. Look at the windshield. No problem. We'll come back over all this. Now I had some decals on this windshield on my road trip. I'm gonna have to go back over that with some alcohol, no problem. That's what you get for being a real car guy and actually driving your cars. So you can see with the ceramic coating and the PPF, I'm not out here wiping the whole car down with my microfibers. I will use some microfibers. Look at this. Hydrophobic coating, which means the water just blasts right off. It's a sealant, okay, bottom line, and makes the car so much easier to maintain and dry and clean. Come on, look at the door panel. The water just wicks right off. There's your big advantage of the ceramic coating for me. Very easy to clean the car, very easy to dry the car, and that's it. I will go over this again, and I will hit it with a carbon fiber. I'll have to open the hood and the front to get some of that pesky water off. But look at this. Can you guys see the water? Just wicking right off. Are you kidding me? And there'll be a couple spots. Listen, after an 1,800-mile road trip and a thorough but quick wash, I didn't spend my life out here today. But I'll need to go over it again. You know, I'll use some detail spray, hitting any of the spots. If I got any sap, I didn't see any sap. But if I do have any sap, I'll be sure to come out here and remove the sap straight away. You can see there's some water underneath the glass. By the way, everybody wants to know with the C8, well, you can't get water in there. Listen, the engineers designed this so that the water, when it does go down into the engine compartment, goes right down alongside, does not hit the engine core. Of course, there'll be some splashing up, but there'll be some water splashing up on anyone's engine. Be real. A lot of people will make comments, oh, that can't be good for the engine. Stop it. You ain't an engineer. General Motors engineers figured it out. Your old Cutlass, your Porsche, your Ferrari, I don't care what it is. Your F-150, your Mustang, your Camaro, your engine bay gets wet. Stop it. C8 just happens to be a mid-engine, like so many cars, including my Lamborghini, that has some vents in the engine bay, and everybody thinks, oh, you can't let water get in there. It's all been engineered, folks. Just chill. Now, I hit a lot of bugs on this road trip, and I'm very impressed with how easily they came off with the foam cannon. Couple shots with the foam cannon. As you guys know, two-step process. Well, rinse, foam cannon coating number 1, rinse, foam cannon coating number 2, rinse. Then I hit certain spots with my 2-bucket technique. Not the whole car. It didn't need it, quite honestly. Final rinse, and now I'm drying. So the whole process, if I wasn't doing a video, I could probably have it done in half an hour. I do take my time, so maybe 45 minutes to an hour. If I was rushing, I could do it quicker, but why rush? Guys, let me get the other side of this car. That's a bit about the drying process, and I'll be right back to you. Stand by. All right, guys, final step. As you can see, I have the rear engine bay open because some water does get in there and some soap, so we're gonna wipe that out. Not much, not as much as you might think. It all runs down, as I was just saying. And same thing in the frunk. We do get some water, not in the frunk, but around the perimeter. As you can see, I got all my trusty microfiber towels. So we're gonna start at the top and just gently and quickly, no need to go nuts, give it a quick wipe down. As you can see, not a lot of water, but there's some. So in order to prevent spots and all that, we give it a quick wipe. And this is really the last step, and then I'll give you guys a quick walk around on the car and let you see what we've got. You guys can tell me your opinion. Hold on, I'll be right back. Yes, before anybody asks, I am doing the door sills. We do get some water in there. Got to get that out. Can't have water spots, guys. Come on. Buddy CJ always getting all them spots. Almost done, and then I'll give you the walk around. All right, the finished product. What do you think, guys? That is the Z06 after an 1,800-mile road trip based on double foam cannon wash. What I mean by that is, first I rinse it with the pressure washer just to get the loose stuff off while the car is wet. I shoot it one time with the foam cannon. Let that sit in for a couple minutes, wash it, rinse it, I should say. Okay, with the pressure washer, straight water. Then I foam it again with the foam cannon. Let that sit in, let that do its thing, let it soak. Then I hit it again with straight water. Now for the third pass, because this car was filthy dirty, I went over it with my 2-bucket technique, washing the car, one wash bucket with soap and water mixture, my wash mitts, the other one with mostly water, just to rinse the mitts. And I go over the dirtier parts. In this case, I was pleasantly surprised by how clean the car came, just based on the foam cannon and the pressure washer. Again, I don't blast it. I don't put the pressure washer with the white nozzle. I use the white nozzle. I don't get, real close to the car. You don't want to do that, especially on, you just don't want to cause problems with anything. I keep it a couple to 4 feet away at least. The car is coated, PPF and ceramic coating, so it's easy to clean. You don't have to go nuts. It's not a dump truck. It's not a tractor. It's a performance car. Treat it as such. Take care of your cars in a similar way, and they'll look as good
as your buddy CJ's. I'm serious about clean cars. Clean car, what do they say? Happy wife, happy life. Clean car, happy gearhead. I don't know. Guys, what do you think about your buddy CJ's technique? Let me know. Leave me your comments. If you have any other suggestions for gearheads to use. These are some of the techniques I use. Now, maybe you have other techniques. That's cool too.
But I'll tell you, I get a lot of compliments on my car. People asking me all the time how I keep them clean. What do I think about foam cannons? What do I think about ceramic coatings and all these other things? 2-bucket technique versus not. This is the method I use. Leave me your comments, guys, and I'll see you on the next one. Till then, peace.